What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Not the Shop Podcast with your boy Mac Mall. Before we get this interview started, man, make sure y'all smash the like button, comment, share. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when the new episodes is coming out. And man, run them numbers up. Man, today I got a special guest. My boy, what's good, man?
How you feeling, sir?
I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, man. Tell these people who you is, bro.
My name is Relahn Davis, MVP Davis on Instagram. So I coming on here today to talk about financial literacy.
You dig, man. This is a very important interview, man, because we're gonna talk about building, funding, credit, things that, normally don't get the numbers when you talk about things that can empower people, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely know this is something that needs to be talked about, I feel like as we go along, I feel like more and more black people are getting more and more financial literate, and I think we definitely need to push the narrative of, owning shit, having good credit, doing good, and it's gonna be interesting today. You know what I'm saying, man? First of all, I want to talk about, obviously we met, in the shop. I had a shop on Madison and shit, and you came in there fucking with my boy T, man, and you was always a solid dude. I always fuck with your energy. You're always a positive dude. I never, got nothing negative from you. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to congratulate you on everything you're doing.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
For sure, man. So let's get right into it, man. So tell me about what you got going on.
So I teach financial literacy. I like to say I teach it to my community, unfortunately, because poverty doesn't have a gender or a race anymore. It's not just black people. It's everybody that is dealing with poverty. So I like to be a beacon to my community, showing that you can obtain wealth and you can be rich and you can do it through your credit score. Because a lot of us think that because we are not currently rich, we can't obtain this wealth. And then we don't know the benefits through our credit. So therefore we only do the things that are flashing in our face, as far as go get a house, go get a car. And that's helping America. That's helping America keep going around, because now you have to pay for this house and pay for this car. But if you told our people that you can go obtain $50,000 to $100,000 in the first week of you having good credit, that would turn everybody's ear. But everybody doesn't know that.
So, okay, so we speaking of, so like, when it comes to the credit, what advice do you have somebody that's currently like in a bad situation? Say like they, I hear what you're saying, but right now my credit is down. How can that person improve their credit and become ultimately successful?
So various ways. First off, to build your credit and to get a higher credit score, you want to add credit builder accounts. So credit builder accounts are going to build your credit score up 25 to 50 points every month, but it's not going to give you inquiries. Inquiries you save for your funding. So when I go get my high-end credit cards, my $20,000 credit cards, my $80,000 Benz, I'm using my inquiries to do that. And when you get so many inquiries, which is over 3, then you won't be able to get any more funding. So we don't want to use our inquiries when we're trying to build our credit, because most of us get secured credit cards, things of that nature. And that's a society holding us back from getting our money, because secure credit cards, they give you inquiries. So they don't tell us about the credit builders. They tell us about the secured credit cards, because they want to hold us back from getting funding as long as possible. So the average person thinks it takes a year to 2 years to build their credit. You can fix your credit, build your credit, and get funding inside of 3 to 6 months.
And how would somebody go about doing that?
So first you want to start off by getting all the negative items removed from your credit report. Bankruptcies, charge-offs, delinquencies, inquiries, and anything, late payments, all of that you want to get removed. So you want.
And how would they do that?
You can contact me. I have credit repair for only $100.
Yeah.
For $100, I'll remove all of the negative items off your credit report and get you wiped clean to now where you only have to build your credit and go get funded. Most of our problem is we have negative items on our credit report. Once we're wiped clean of all of that, all you have to do is build it out, and then you can walk right into the banks and get these types of funding.
So now when it comes to like building credit, right? what would be some steps that you would say that, okay, once they get to this credit level that they want to be in, where they're able to make moves, what do you say would be some first moves that you would make?
So when I first get your credit together, another mistake we make, we attack the big name banks first. So we go to Chase, Bank of America, U.S. Bank, and they give us low limit credit cards. So you want to establish responsibility with these banks. You want to show that you're responsible and you can responsibly have $10,000, $20,000 credit cards. So you need to find who's going to give you these limits. So a lot of us don't know. We go to credit unions first. Credit unions will give you high limit credit cards because they usually need an incentive to join their bank. They don't just let anybody get credit unions, right? Chase, anybody can walk in there and get Chase. Bank of America, anybody can walk in there and get Bank of America. So they have more clients. So they don't want to give out a lot of funding to anybody. But when you're with a credit union, let's say Navy Federal, you got to know somebody to have Navy Federal, right? So now, since they don't have a lot of clients, they're willing to give you more money because they ain't got that many people to give it out to. Did that make sense? So now when you go to Navy Federal and they give you your 5, your 20, your 15, your 30, your 40,000, you attack 2 to 3 more credit unions. PenFed, PSECU, Apple Federal Credit Union. You can write these down. All of them will start you out with anywhere between $5,000 to $35,000 as soon as you get with them. So now, once you have 3 credit union credit cards that are all $5,000 to $30,000, now we go to Chase. Now we go to Bank of America. Now we go to Citibank because now they see you have $30,000 to $50,000 that you have been taken care of. So now they want to give you more money because you're going to them with money. You get what I'm saying? So that's how you start off. And a lot of people are confused because they like, we go and I get the low limit credit cards and I don't get high limit credit cards. You have to start out at credit unions. Let the credit unions report, then go to the high limit banks.
So let me ask you this, right? Ultimately, because when we first met, obviously this wasn't a niche of yours.
No.
So what inspired you to do this?
Losing my mom.
Yeah, tell me about that.
So I lost my mom in like 2017, and it wasn't just losing her. Like 4 days later, I got an eviction notice that I had to be out the house. And my mom was the hardest working person that I knew. She worked from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, Monday through Saturday. And because of that, we didn't really go out like that. I never took my mom out to dinner, never had or did a lot of things, never went on trips with my mom. So I wanted to do all these things, and I always worked hard because one day I wanted to come to my mom and just say, you ain't got to work again. But unfortunately, she died before I was able to do that. So now my passion is to make sure anybody I'm working with gets rich before that happens to their parents. And I don't want nobody to be in that situation again. But I was able to go to the auction and buy the house back with learning the credit. So once I was able to buy the house back with being disciplined and learning my credit, it made me want to teach it to other people.
So was that the house you grew up in?
Yes.
So you wound up buying your own house?
Yes. Right. After they took it, so I had to be out. They gave me 2 months to be out, saying the house was going to be sold at an auction. Instead of me getting and just leaving the house, I researched and Googled the auction, and I went there and bid it on the house and won it back. So.
And how much did you win it back for?
$40,000.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So give me the auction process. How was that like? So
going into the auction, obviously I didn't know what I was doing. So I Googled and went to the auction, and I came in there, as black people would always do, with $40,000 cash. At auctions, you can't buy the properties back with cash. You have to have a cashier's check or you have to have a line of credit. So then I had to go get a cashier's check. God being on my side, my bank was right downstairs. And I said it was in God's plan for me to get the house because it was an Indian in this auction. And in this auction, it was 20 houses available. He bought 19 of them.
Damn.
My house was the 20th house. And on the 19th house, not only did he not bid, he got up and walked out the room. So I was the only one to bid on my house.
You hit a lick, didn't you? I know you was happy. I know you was happy. It was God's plan.
Yeah, man, because he was buying stuff like, he was on another level, so he was buying stuff from his computer. So they was like 60,000. Oh, we have another one for 80,000. So I knew my house was gone because I only had 40, and I was like, yeah, after 40, I ain't gonna be able to raise my hand no more.
So they started at 40,
At my house, no, they started at 33,000.
and who else was you battling for?
One person bad for 35, and then I just did for 40.
So you just offered them that 40.
Yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah.
That's what's up, man. So, as far as financial freedom, man, what would you say would be the best option for financial freedom?
Financial freedom is basically the best option is with your credit. So before you go into a business, before you go and do anything, and I always like to tell our black people, sometimes we can't focus on one thing because we're worrying about so many other things. We're worrying about our kids. We're worrying about our family, our job, working 40 hours a week. It's a lot of frustration trying to focus on credit when you're doing all these things. So I tell my clients, 1 hour a week. Give yourself 1 hour a week. You give your job 40 hours. You give your kids hours. 1 hour out the week, you're saying, I'm not doing anything but focusing on credit. And I have a group that you can join where all we do in the group is teach people how to build their credit, how to fund their credit, how to fix their credit, and how to get funded over $100,000 in this group. I have over like 200 members in the group. So I give all the resources to be able to do this. This group is only $100. Yeah. So I make it affordable for our people to be able to learn it because all you need is the knowledge. And once you have the knowledge, you know what to apply the money to. So first, get your credit report clean. After it's clean, build it. When it's done being builded, add 10 to 12 credit builder accounts. After that, 5 trade lines, and then go get $50,000 to $100,000. Now you have breathing room. You can put your bills on autopilot for the next 3 to 4 months. You ain't got to work as much. You have $100,000 to your name where you can spend whatever you want. But we also teach what to spend it on, how to invest into real estate, how to invest into the stock market, because you need to know how to keep growing your money as well.
So tell me about that process. So if somebody gets like they get their credit together and they get these credit card the credit limits. What is the process of going through that, taking the money and moving it, like saying I want to get into real estate? How is that process from using your credit line and getting funding, getting the cash, or do you use credit to get real estate?
So that's the great thing. With the knowledge that I have, credit is cash. So I know how to take all the money off your credit card and put it into your bank account without you having paying any fees. And I teach you how to do that. Let's say you have a $20,000 credit card, right? Let's say this Chase card is $20,000. I want to take this $20,000 and I want to put it, this is the benefit of knowledge, on my debit card. I'm going to go to the Apple store. I'm going to swipe $20,000 worth of Apple products. This is the benefit of information. They gave me this $20,000 for free. This is a $20,000 credit card off me building my credit and having good credit. We didn't work for this. I'm going to go to the Apple store. I'm going to swipe $20,000 worth of Apple products. They're going to ask me, how do I want to pay? By law, they have to ask me this. I want to pay the $20,000 with my credit card. I want to pay the taxes with my debit card. We got to pay taxes on everything we pay. The next day, I'm going to return all the items. By law with Apple, as long as none of the products are hurt or damaged, you have 15 days to return your products and get a full refund. So I'm going to return all $20,000 worth of products the next day. They're going to ask me, by law, what card would you like the money returned? Your credit card or your debit card? I want the $20,000 on my debit card. You just took $20,000 off your credit card and put it on your debit card. You can walk in the bank and get it cash money.
Amazing.
So I tell all of us, have you ever heard of reward points? Swiping your credit card, they pay you money just from swiping this. So you get what they call cash back.
Yeah, I got one, the Sapphire.
There you go.
Yeah,
so you get cash back. So when you put the $20,000 on your debit card, you don't want to spend that $20,000. Pay the $20,000 off on your credit card. Now you just got $20,000 worth of reward points for free. Now when you want to travel, groceries, gas, hotels, rental cars, reward points. I haven't spent money on gas, groceries, anything like that in over 3-4 years.
My boy Ed he be talking about them points. He's strict on them points.
It can change it, man. Hey, reward points can change your life, man.
That nigga Ed be on them points.
Reward points will change your life to the point you like I have over 190,000. I have over 190,000 reward points with Chase. So,
yeah.
So it's like I don't have to spend money on nothing.
Yeah, and it was a perk that I didn't know. I had it obviously for a long time, but I didn't know at that time that I get free insurance with rental cars for having that card.
Sir, I'll put you on some more game. You got Sapphire?
Yeah.
You get free insurance with rental cars. You get up to $10,000 a month on whatever you swipe on that card. So let's say you go get a Rolex and you get robbed the next day. You can call Chase Sapphire. They're going to put the $10,000 back on your credit card so you can go get another one. You get up to $50,000 every year on the card.
Yeah.
So you could go buy you a car for $40,000. You get robbed, they putting that $40,000 back on your account.
See, I need to get into the incentive tiers because I got it now.
It's good that you got it though. Yeah.
I use it just for I used to use it for booking trips and shit, but I don't use it no more.
So you know what I like to break it down and how I tell my clients? You have the date night show.
Yeah.
So when you have a woman or somebody that you like, you want to study your girlfriend. You want to know what she likes, what she doesn't like, food she likes, places she likes to go, right? That's how you treat your bank accounts. You want to know everything Chase has to offer while you got that card. Because as you don't, you're cheating yourself.
Right. Facts.
So you treat it like a relationship. I want to know everything about every debit card, every credit card, every bank that I'm with. I want to know everything.
I didn't. How I found out about the insurance shit, bro. I was in I think Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I got cool with one of the rental car dudes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This was my first time.
And you pulled the card out.
Right,
and he was like, whoa, you got a Sapphire. Yeah, that's how
I pulled the card out and shit. And he was like, so I'm like, how much is the insurance for the car? He told me you don't have to pay insurance. No. I'm like, for real?
No, yeah. They treat you different when you pull a Sapphire. And they be like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so did you, also I wanted to tell you, so this is another thing. And you can do this when you get off of it as well, because I'm sure you probably didn't do it. So with Sapphire, you get up to $125,000 on this card. You can get up to $125,000 on this one.
And how was that, man? Break it down for
whatever
me.
you start off with is basically what you start off with. So they started me off with my Sapphire with $9,000. I currently have $30,000 on this Sapphire card. We don't know this as well. I always say information changes situations. Right?
So tell me this, because they gave me a $10,000 limit.
Okay.
And I never asked for no more. I just used that. You know what I'm saying? So how would I go about upping my limit?
Easy. So you see how I said get the free reward points? When you do that, it's looking like you're spending and maxing this card off 3 to 4 times a month, and you're paying it off every time. So now they want to give you more money, because the more money they give you, the more money they make. So now you're on the side of the bank because they don't understand what you're doing, and it's looking like you're making these transactions every month. So by law, you can do what I just told you at least 2 times a month, and every 3 to 6 months, you can ask for what they call a credit limit increase. And you can ask for a credit limit increase every 3 to 6 months, all the way till you get up to $125,000 with this one card.
So how much would I ask for at one time? Like, I go up there and I'd be like, you know what, give me 3 more thousand.
So sometimes sometimes they will let you put in how much you want to ask for, and then sometimes you can just ask for the limit and they'll give it to you. Chase is one of those, you just ask for the limit and they'll give it to you. But Bank of America travel card, I'll give an example. One of my overseas basketball friends, he had a $18,000 limit with them, but he had it for the past 8 years and never asked for one. So I told him ask for $12,000. So he went from $8,000 to $30,000 just from asking for credit.
Because of probably the good history, you know. And I should do the same thing, man, because I actually had my Sapphire for shit about over 10 years.
And the good thing about that is you can put all of your kids on that Sapphire card as well, and now they put some of the good gate as well. And what they're going to get first is called the Chase Freedom Card, and now they're going to get high limits as well, anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000, because you're vouching for them that they have good.
I got a Freedom too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Oh no, I know banks like the back of my head. So I'll go into a bank and they'll say we only have 2 business cards. No, you have 4, and I'm here for all of them.
Yeah.
So that's remember I told you. You don't work for banks, bank works for you.
So tell me about this program that you got going on, man. To help
So
people.
I have a lot of different programs that I do. One of them is the Community of Wealth. That's what I advise anybody to get into. That's a community that I have. It's only $100. You can learn how to fix your credit, build your credit, get yourself funded, and also invest into other entities. Now, after you do that, I have higher tier programs like my one-on-one mentorship. That's $3,000, and my 100K boot camp, and my basic credit repair. Each of those entities, I show you how to make a different amount of money. All of them, I fully clean, sweep, and wipe your entire credit. But it's about how much money you want to make afterwards. So after I'm done with that, do you want to make $50,000 and pay me $650? Do you want to make $100,000 and pay me $1,500? Or do you want to make $250,000 and pay me $3,000? So anything that I do, I say 10 times the reward back. Whatever money you give me, I'm going to give you 10 times the energy and the profit back. So the higher tier programs is showing you how to get a cash flow like I have. So I tell my people all the time, I can go to sleep for a month and make $15,000. That's my low. Like $15K a month is the lowest I'm going to make. So with knowing that, I have a goal to keep building my business, but with building my business, I need to build more millionaires and need to build more six-figure earners. So I teach those methods in my one-on-one mentorship class. So if you want to just make the money, you will pay for my 100K boot camp, or you will pay for my 650 basic credit repair, or you would be in my community. If you want to make the money and create a cash flow to where you're never working again, then you want to take my one-on-one mentorship.
So I gotta ask you, because people in the comments gonna be like, "How do we know it works?" So what is the success rate that you have? Like, what is the ratio?
I love it. So the thing about credit is the success ratio is 100%. The only people that don't make it is who give up. Now, I told you it's a 3 to 6 month process for you to get your credit together and for you to build your credit and for you to go out and get funded. Now, the problems within this 3 to month process, some people have credit reports that have over 200 negative accounts on there. You're not going to be a 3 to 6 month process. Your process is going to be 3 months to probably 8 to 9 months.
Right. So, and I'm glad you said that because I went through a credit fixing place. I can't remember the place, but it was like a big time that I Googled. Right.
Okay.
And they actually fixed my credit, but it took a long ass time. You know what I'm saying? So they was charging me, I think, want to say $90 a month or some shit. I can't remember. It was a law firm that fixed credit. I can't remember the name of it, but they very popular, right? And when I signed up with them, they was like, instead of them attacking everything on my credit at once, they took their time. They did one thing at a time.
So you want to know why they did that? Because you was paying $90 a month. So the longer we take to fix your credit, the more you gonna be in.
Right. I figured that. I figured that. But so I gotta be real with you. The reason why I actually went with them is because I know a lot of black people who do credit. Right. We in the hood, everybody, And I just didn't feel safe with somebody having
your information.
My information.
But the good thing
about tell me about that. How do people get the confidence to deal with
giving me that information and stuff? So I break the ice in the gate. I tell people, you don't give me or anybody else your full social. I only need the last 4 digits of your social to do your credit.
Now, is there a difference?
No, it's not. Anybody doing your credit only need the last 4 of your social. But some people will tell you they need your full social because they want to do your credit in other ways to not have you do what you need to do. So I tell all my people, I need the last 4 digits of your social, and I just need your full name, birthday, email address, and for you to sign up with these 3 links. Now, when you do that, I can't do anything with the last 4 digits of your social. That's why I only ask for the last 4 digits. I can't be accused of putting anything on your credit, and whatever is put on there, you did it. So you never want to give anybody the full social. They only need the last 4 in order to obtain their job. Now, with doing that, you break the ice, and now they don't have to do anything as far as that. And the difference between me and, like you said, with the law firm, I'm attacking all of your accounts at once because my goal is to get your credit done as fast as possible because I don't care about making money per month. I care about you getting $100,000 because when I show you and walk you through how to get the $100,000, I charge a 10% success fee. I show you and walk you through for free. Now, once you go get the $100,000, I need 10%, which is $10,000.
Okay, so that's like a good side hustle for you.
Amazing. I haven't. I haven't had a job since I was 17 years old. So
That's what's up,
yeah.
man. That's what's up, man. I never really got into the credit game until I was probably like in my I say early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in my early 30s, I started like, because I started wanting to own shit. You know,
Exactly.
I always was like, you know, I was cool with working, getting to the money.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm always thinking of how I can better myself. So when I got into like thinking about credit and shit, it's like, okay, so now not only do I have the money I work for,
Yeah.
I got my name behind me. So that's like an extra process.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like your classes, like you do online or do you do like one-on-ones or how
So the good thing about it is with my community. So you see, I have the community where I said it's $100, right?
Mm-hmm.
I meet with my community every Monday. Every Monday we have a live Zoom call, and I'm teaching them how to build their credit, how to fund their credit. You get what I'm saying? Because remember, I told you my goal is to get your credit done and you to your $100,000. So now you can properly start investing. Mm-hmm. So every Monday I'm building that, I'm teaching that, I'm enforcing that, I'm making sure it's in your head. I'm sticking it to you. We got a class, we got a class, we got a class. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because that's what we need. We need consistency. I can't just tell you about credit and then don't talk to you for 4 months and then be like, hey, what's going on? No, I need to be on you every week. You get what I'm saying? So that's one way to build it out. And also with the higher tier programs and classes that I have, it's just showing you how to get that first 50 to 100,000. That's just the tip of the iceberg. So when you get that, now you're free to relax, put your bills on autopilot, and learn more. We worry about the money. As long as you have information, you're going to always have money.
So what would you say would be the right thing to do with the money? Because obviously, you know, Lamont, you know, I see Lamont doing this thing with the real estate and shit, right? So how would somebody be able to be entrepreneur or get into real estate by using their credit?
So in their credit, you'll be able to find, so we always want the properties, like I was just saying earlier, I don't want the property to have anything to do with the bank before I put the worth into the property. When you go to buy a property that's already fixed up, that's already looking nice, that's already, you know, as it is, you don't get to make any money off that property really because you only collecting the rent every month, which is not that much. You got to pay the bank back because you got the money from the bank. I want the property that's abandoned, beat up, messed up, because now I can put that worth into the property. So I bought my house back for $40,000, but I went to the bank and got a home equity line of credit for $185,000. So for the past 2 years, I've had $185,000 in the bank just sitting there that I can do anything that I want with, which I'm going to use to continue to invest into other properties. And the good thing about that is because I bought the property for cheap, which is $40,000, and I put the equity and the worth into the property, and then 7 years later, I was able to get 6 figures plus.
And I always said that was the best way to go, man, because I feel like when I first got into real estate, I think I got into real estate, I want to say 2017, something like that. And I always said that when I think it's kind of hard to invest and see that ideology when you have a woman.
Okay.
Because women seem to they look with their eyes when they go to a house. They want something luxurious. They don't see the plan, you know. And I think when you go into buying a house, you should think that way. Like, because every dollar that you put into the house is going to be equity.
So,
you know,
with us in the gender of us, women and men, right? I think any human being that you sit down and show a proper plan to will be okay with that plan. So I can't take my lady. I'm single. I don't have a lady. Right. But I can't take my lady into an abandoned property and be like, we need to put our savings in this and just trust me. I'm going to sit my lady down at the table and trust her with the entire plan. We're buying this property. We're going to put this money from this credit into this property. Once we put this money into this property, we can go to the bank and get this amount of money from this property. And now we can use this money to go do this again and make another $50,000 to $100,000 again. And on top of making that that $50,000 to $100,000, we now can rent each unit out for $2,500 a month. So we just profited $50,000, and now we're making $7,500 a month off this bad looking property.
Absolutely, man. That's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, and then I will also be able to show my lady that before I met you, look, I did it with this one.
Right.
I did it with my mom's.
Right.
So do you want to do this, or do you want to work? And I don't have a problem with you wanting to work because you're an adult. But it's going to eventually get tiring with you getting up to go work every day and me getting on my computer.
But I gotta be honest with you. So what do you think about a person that hasn't accomplished that already, and he's trying to tell his woman this is the way to go, but he don't have skin in the game?
Okay.
What if this is just a plan?
If he doesn't have skin in the game, what did I tell you the best thing you can have is information. So if you have the information on what everything is going to do, because before I got that money from my house, I had the information knowing that I can do this. I was told by Relahn what a home equity line of credit was. Mm-hmm. I went on Redfin and looked what my property was worth. And then I had and seen what the credit score took to get that money. And then all I did was do it. So even if you don't have skin in the game, you can show your girl what a home equity line of credit is. You can show your girl what your credit score needs to be to obtain that. You can show your girl how much money it needs to put into this property in order for us to get the end goal, which is the $250,000. And now when you show your girl that, you have to have the discipline to actually proceed and do it.
Yeah, execute.
Yeah, because a lot of us, I say with our black men, we'll have our girl on a dream saying for 7 to 8 months we gonna do something, and you ain't did it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta show that you actually doing it. And then she see you with the jewelry on and but you just said how you going, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I really want to show my community and my culture. If you see, I don't have jewelry, I don't wear earrings, I'm in a jogging suit, but my life is taken care of. I'm a man.
Right.
And I want to show the young men, before you do all that, there's nothing wrong with doing it. Let's lock in being a man first. Get your credit to where it needs to be. Now, let's hold back on having kids until your credit where it needs to be. Get you some real estate under your belt. Get God in your life. Get therapy under your belt. Because when you get the money, you got to have the emotional capacity to keep the money.
To keep the money, yeah.
Because most of us think when we make money, I can go do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
I have a lot of money, but I still treat women.
I mean, that's true to a certain degree.
Yeah, you gotta.
We're not gonna go overboard.
Yeah,
with it,
so what I'm saying is you still gotta have the morals.
Yeah,
and that's why I said go get the therapy and go get and go to church, because you want to have the discipline to keep it. Because if we make a whole lot of money and a young lady pisses you off and you beat her up and you in jail, what does that matter? You don't have the emotional capacity to keep the money.
So what do you think? What do you think is more profitable when it comes to the difference in residential buying or commercial buying?
So I think if I'm going by what I've learned and what I've studied and paid money for, you should always start off with what you're able to. So obviously we're going to be able to start off with residential first. Just like I said, before you go into real estate, you want to get your credit done first. Before you get your credit done, you want to learn how to build and get the funding. Everything's a process. You get what I'm saying? Commercial is great. I have no problem with that, but I think you should start with residential, build your monthly income up to anywhere between $5,000 to $10,000 a month, and then dip into the commercial because it costs more money.
Okay. So for me, I think personally, I think there's no way to lose when it comes to real estate.
No,
honestly.
No.
No matter what route you take, I think it's about how much work you put in. Whether you're a realtor, an investor, loan officer, whatever the case may be, I think it's pretty much about the work you put in. It's some good incentives come with commercial, like me and my homie Ed was talking about controlling the market and your own destiny as far as your income go. Residual income for me, because there's two sides when you buy and sell and then rent and own. What is your perspective on renting and own and buying and selling?
You can do both. People don't know that. You can do both. So I bought my mom's house for $40,000. I told you I got a $185,000 home equity line of credit. I haven't paid rent or mortgage in 7 years. So as long as I don't spend that $185,000, I don't owe rent or mortgage to anything. I just got $185,000 sitting right there. So if I bought the house for 40 and I got a home equity line of credit for 185, that's kind of me selling the house, right? Because a home equity.
But you're keeping it.
Now, since I don't have rent or mortgage, I'm gonna use my own money. I ain't gonna use the 185. I don't want no rent or mortgage. I make general income off my business. So I'm gonna use the money off my, see, everybody be ready to touch the credit. No. I don't want no rent or mortgage. Cause now I'm gonna use my own money to fix the house up and rent it out for $2,500 a month. Now that whole 25, cause I took the hit on my own money and not the credit. Now that whole 25 a month is all profit. So now I can go get my condo, go get me a little apartment. I don't have no kids. You get what I'm saying? Go live my nice single bachelor life.
And that's what I wanted to speak on that, because I think us as people, we get it real mixed up when it comes to understanding what wealth is.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people think that wealth is having abundance of money, right? Mm-hmm. For me, wealth is being able to live your life
how you
and
want
not
to.
having to work for it.
Yep.
That's what wealth is to me. So let's put it like this. Say you're a person and your bills, you know, whatever it is, your bill, your car note, your rent, your lights, gas, water, mortgage, whatever it is, combined in one bundle. Mm-hmm. Whatever that totals to, and you make that and don't have to work for it, you are wealthy.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You are wealthy.
Exactly.
Because you can live your life
however you want
without busting a muscle. And that is wealth.
And I think we in our community as black people, we so used to working for everything, we don't know how to gain wealth, because in order to gain wealth, you have to delegate your life. So what I mean by that is, you see how I said I fix credit and stuff like that. I have 5 assistants that fix credit for me. So they're fixing credit as we're on this podcast. But if I'm trying to fix all the clients' credit while I'm trying to get clients, I ain't gonna never be able to fix y'all credit. Because I won't be able to come on podcasts and talk about wealth. I won't be able to come on podcast because I'm fixing credit all day. But we want to do the work so much that we never understand how much we can actually make until we take ourselves out the job. You're one of the best barbers I know. But if 100 people wanted their haircut today, you couldn't do that because it's just you. But if you delegate your life to where you have 5 barbershops, you get what I'm saying? And employees, and now you got 100 people want their haircut. Now you can send them to 3 different shops. But we want to work all ourselves so we can all gain all the money. And when you do that, you're not going to be able to gain a lot of money until you learn how to delegate your life, pay your employees, and you're going to benefit and profit way more. The quickest way to get rich is making other people the same way.
I think the biggest fallacy we was ever told was work hard and play harder.
It's so many quotes that we be told, and I just be like, oh my God.
You know,
work
like
hard, play harder.
If you think about it, we respect hard-working men.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And we look at the people who live easy lives like they're a piece of shit.
Dude.
It ain't their fault they got their life set up where they don't have to work hard. I don't believe that life is about working hard.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you, big bro. So when I date women, right, I tell them I'm a financial wizard. It ends there. I don't know how to fix no tire. I don't know how to like I'm just being honest with you. If you're looking for a man that's gonna be up there tiling the roof, I'm not your guy. I'm paying for all that shit. I'm not gonna. I'm not moving. When you want to move in and shit, the movers will be there at 3. Make sure your stuff put together. I'm not doing anything but learning how to make money and making money. Everything else I can pay for.
And that's what that's kind of what the new generation is coming to.
Yeah, like I'm not doing anything.
Because my generation, we more of handymen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
And we'll rather save that little money and do it our motherfucking self.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna be honest. You can see the difference though. Look at you. You like hey, I go to the gym 3-4 times a day. I'm up out of there. Like
I mean, it's just a different generation because this generation now. So like you know, and I don't really want to shit on the new generation because it's actually they benefit more. So I
we got the information.
I gotta give them their flowers.
Yeah.
But this generation now is the less talented generation that we ever had.
Yeah.
And
lazy.
People and here's the thing. This is something that I know. You make way more money from using your brain than your body. My generation, we used to working hard. We was taught work hard, be a man.
Now let's ask this question. What generation got more money?
Right, but see, this is what I'm saying, and that's why I wanted to go to that, because in my generation, hard workers were praised.
Yes.
Your construction workers.
Yeah, for
your
sure.
Police workers.
And they still
your
should
drivers.
be. They still should be.
Your hardworking men were praised. That was a good job.
Yeah.
Now they a piece of shit. These women say they won't even date these kind of men. The men that women praised in my day are nothing now.
I don't think
it's like they want scammers.
Yeah.
They want drug dealers. And the YouTubers. The niggas that sit in front of the camera all day, these niggas are making $5 million a month.
Okay, well, you got to look at it like this. I put it to you like this. We go back to the time again, right? So you got a man that's working a job, which is not a bad thing. I don't knock any man that's working a 9-to-5 job. I think you should be working that job to invest into your credit, to invest into real estate, to where you ain't got to work that job no more. If that's your goal, you're on the right path. But if you're working a job to work there the next 50 years, go buy a new bag. I don't know what to tell you. You shouldn't be doing that. But because it's too much information in this new generation. In your generation, we ain't know you can go get $100,000 from credit. Mm-hmm. And you probably couldn't because it was racial bankers. So now most of our credit comes from the phone. Mm-hmm. All my credit card, I apply it online. You get what I'm saying? I ain't got to go to racist bankers and sit in front of nobody's stuff. You get what I'm saying? And information is more given to us now. Like we on this podcast, so y'all didn't have that back in the day. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think the generations should collide, because if you can teach us how to work hard and we can teach you what to work hard at, we all be rich.
I think it's just a new time, and I think the ability to be able to stay relevant is
and adapt.
Adapt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because times change.
Yeah.
Evolution is something that nobody can change.
Nope.
You know, we told our parents the same thing. Oh, y'all old, it ain't like that no more. And now we the old niggas, and motherfuckers telling us, okay, man, you ain't got to do all this. You can what you can do is you could go on Temu and buy you a $200 goddamn microphone and hook your phone up to that motherfucker and tell your life story, and you can make $2 million.
And people go watch it.
You don't have to have zero talent. Zero. You don't have to be strong. You don't have to be tall. You don't have to be intelligent. You don't have to learn how to pronounce big words. You don't have to do none of that shit. All you have to do is have a gimmick.
I say it all the time. In today's world, getting rich is so simple. People that are rich try and make it seem like it's hard, so you would never try to do it.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it.
Getting rich is so easy and so simple. People that are rich try to make it seem hard, so you never even try.
And see, and the thing about it is actually the reason why I started this podcast is because I'm a man of many talents. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm real sophisticated, and I got a lot of shit going on, right? Mm-hmm. And when I see certain people who have about 2% of the talent that I have,
exactly,
making more money than me,
it's supposed to get you.
You know what I'm saying?
It's supposed to put a spark on your ass. Like, hold on, man.
I'm like, hold on, we can't be doing this. Something is up with this shit.
It's supposed to put a spark on you, and that's what life is supposed to do. It's supposed to encourage you. That's why I tell, when people hear me, I make $15,000 a month, and see me black truck, whatever I do. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't no high school scholar. I wasn't on the honor roll. I want you to see and be like, no, this is the same Relahn. All I did was apply my money and my knowledge to something that's going to benefit me. And they lied to us for so long, making us think that if we put that in school, we was going to get a return. And we didn't. You need to put that into your financial literacy, and you need to put that into your credit score so you can get a return, and you invest that return to never have to work again.
You know what I see, bro? I see in this day and age, this time, that the kids who went to school, who did the right thing, went to college, got degrees, they did all that just to work for the people who dropped out.
You heard what 50 Cent said? I never went to Harvard, but I got a few employees that did.
Yeah. Absolutely. I see that.
And I tell people all the time, it's messed up, but I tell people all the time, the people that succeed in credit and get entrepreneurship and get successful in that is your CD students. And I'll tell you why. When you're an honor roll and you're an A student, it's nothing wrong with that, but you're a robot. You're programmed to do whatever's work is in front of you and get a reward for it. That's what school taught you. That's not life.
I believe that.
That's not life. So the C to D students got C's and D's, not because they couldn't do the work, but they really didn't want to. They acted out. They didn't want to read. Because they knew in their mind, this not finna get me successful in life. This is not finna make my mom, because usually the CD students is the ones, mom struggling, is bad at home. They need to make money now. That's how they turn into hustlers. You get what I'm saying? So they like, this school, you're not telling me how to be successful. You're telling me to memorize Christopher Columbus from 40 years ago. You're telling me to learn slavery and hate white people. None of this is making me no money. None of this stopped my mama from going to from being on link cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing this shit. Because what they really thinking is I could really be making money right now doing what I do after school.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
We was talking.
We was tricked.
We definitely was talking about this off camera when we was talking about when you come from the hood.
Yeah.
Drug dealers basically was the first people who taught us how to be entrepreneurs.
Who even
You know what I'm saying?
who even showed us wealth, who even showed us it was possible to be wealthy. Drug dealers was the first people we seen like, damn, that's the money. That's why we repeated.
And they was the ones that didn't go to school.
Yes.
And they was driving way better cars than the teachers.
A drug dealer is a more astute businessman than you will ever meet. I tell my homies in the hood every time I go to their house, a drug dealer is the best businessman you will ever meet, because throughout your whole life, you're delegating, you're handling money, you're reinvesting, because you got to reinvest to get drugs.
Yeah.
And you're saving so you can reinvest, and you're living your life off of that. You're running a business all throughout your day. You're just not applying it to the real world.
And not only that, it's a little deeper. Check this out. You done made a society within a society, because you don't own that block you getting money on.
You just making the money.
Own that motherfucker.
My mentor.
So you co-owning some shit that's already owned.
And you're not
and
paying
making
taxes.
more money than them.
And you're not paying taxes.
And you're not paying taxes.
That's why I said you're the most astute businessman.
Yeah, facts.
And they don't even know it. That's why I tell them that every day.
Yeah.
You way colder than me.
Yeah, facts.
And you're doing it under pressure of being cold.
Ain't going to jail or getting killed.
And still ain't doing neither
Taking
one. You surviving every day.
The utmost risk.
The utmost risk every day. And every day you surviving.
Yeah. Facts. I get that, man. So obviously the West Side, man, you see the regentrification of the West Side of Chicago going on, man. So what do you think the future plans is for our side of town? Because I see a lot of Mexicans are coming in and buying shit.
I'm being honest with you. We not in the plans. They moving us to Houston, Dallas, Iowa, Washington. Our plans for them is to be in jail, because those are all the states they up in the crime zone. And we going to think what we can do in Chicago, we could do in them southern states, and we're going to go to jail, and we're not going to get out.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, right? So, obviously the Yellow Beezy nigga, right? He just got locked up. I think he out now, but he got locked up, and they were saying that, talking about the capital murder shit, right? In Dallas. I did not know that Dallas death penalty was different from everybody else.
A lot of people don't read it. So they just move.
Right.
Dallas fun. I want to go out there and think they can do the same thing.
So apparently in other states, they death penalty.
And look at their prosecution rate.
But that's what I'm saying. In other states, if you on death row, you get to live in the jail for 20, 30 years. In Dallas, they give your ass 5.
Kink.
If you get convicted of capital murder in Dallas, you got 5 years.
You know why you got 5?
They killing your ass.
We don't want no time for you to figure out how to get out of this. We'll see you in 5, player. Have a nice life.
That's insane, bro.
But we move and we just do these things because we think we winning because it's cheaper. And that's what they want. They want us to move. But when you get this information, that's what people ask me all the time. You move from Chicago? No. I'm going to wait for all y'all badass to leave, and I'm going to be right here. Chicago is one of the most profound cities and most millionaire-made places in America. And some people will say in the world.
I mean, I can believe it because it's like money is real easy to get in Chicago, and that's why it's always a saying: if you can make it in Chicago,
You can make it anywhere.
Yeah, you know what I'm
You
saying.
can make it anywhere.
So the Mexicans have came through and they buying a lot of the West Side, right?
Yeah.
And I actually know a female right now whose grandfather he bought that building, I guess, back in the 80s, and he lives over there on North Avenue in Menard, where we come from, and he's trying to sell it, but he don't want to sell it to no Mexicans. He said he had 30 Mexicans trying to sell it. He put it on the market, and he denied all of them because he wanted to sell it to a black motherfucker. That's crazy.
You just answered your own question. What are they doing? We not even trying. He's trying to sell it to a black person. It said, I got a list of 30 Mexicans.
Yeah.
Because you know what you can't do? You can't make a black person get rich. All you can do is show them how to do it. I can't pull you to the lake and put your head in the water. You have to do it. And most of us are so discouraged. Because I ain't going to sit here and lie like we just not doing it. We so discouraged because we done tried so many ways to get rich. And now it's like, so you finna save my life? I didn't try to go to school. I didn't try to finesse. I didn't try to sell drugs. I didn't try to do, and you finna tell me how to do it. So it's hard for us to believe. It's easier for the Mexicans to believe because they know. And I tell people all the time, the reason they're building for the Mexicans and not us is because when 20K was out, what we do with that money?
Shit, I bought a chain with mine. No.
But when the immigrants was over here and they was giving them that money, what was they doing?
I think that they have better building skills from us because the first building I bought, I sold it to a Mexican, and the crazy part about it is they offered me $30,000 over. Then I actually
because
it was a bidding war between him and then my agent was telling me, you know, I didn't have nothing to do with it. I let her handle the shit. But she was saying they was going back and forth, and so the Mexican said, "Fuck it, I'll give you 30 grand over."
They see the bigger outcome, meaning I'm gonna make money for the next 50 years off this property.
Yeah.
We always think right now, I want to make this money right now, do this right now, do this right now. You know what I'm saying? So when you think longevity with your life, with your business, with the way that you go about things and the way that you handle business, you can see the bigger picture. And a lot of us can't see the bigger picture because we always trying to get in now and try and take whatever we can now.
You know, right, I want to give a brief story about how I got into the real estate game, just to give people context of how easy it is, right? When I first tried to get a property, I didn't know that you needed 2 years of taxes because I didn't file taxes and shit, so I had to file taxes, right? Once I had filed back 2 years, I owed. I went in the hole, you know, and I got a little payment plan, but I was determined to get
That's what you're supposed
to
do, though. That's
right?
what you're supposed to do.
I didn't have necessarily the credit. So what I did was I went to Best Buy and got a $300 ass Best Buy card, right?
Because at the time, that's the only way you knew how to build your credit.
That's the only way. Because mind you, I didn't know nothing about real estate. I'm learning on YouTube. That's how I learned watching people like Chris Crone and the other guy. It's a couple white guys that was saying fucking real estate shit that I was listening to. But I went and got headphones, charged them on my card, started paying it, buying little shit off my Best Buy card, and I built my credit up in the 700s. And I wound up being able to get a property, right? Now, mind you, I didn't have no mentor or nothing. I learned off YouTube.
That's why a mentor is the best thing you can get.
And then bouncing ideas off of, I had a few homies that was, you know, saying little things. So I'm bouncing ideas. And I wind up getting my first property and shit. And I'm like, damn, I finally did this shit. Like, and it wasn't hard.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, not like from.
And it felt good for the accomplishment.
Right, from the time that, because when I came up with the idea, I didn't know that I wasn't gonna be that excited when I accomplished it. I thought I was gonna cry. I finally did some shit. You know, I got a property. I own some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's big. That's not nothing little. That's big, you know?
Yeah.
But for me, when I did it, I'm just like, because my mind was so elevated to more, I'm like, okay, I cracked the ice. Now what? What's next?
What's next?
You know what I'm saying?
And then you see, remember I told you they make it think it's hard. Then you see how easy it is, and you really haunt yourself. Man, I should have been did this shit.
Should have been did this shit. Man, you know, and I tell people all the time, like, you know, I always made good money, but when I was coming up 2021, that was the early 2000s. Drug money was prominent then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was the most consistent.
So when I was looking at those type of people, I didn't know that I was making good money. I was making $1,500 a week at 21 in the early 2000s. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I thought I wasn't making shit.
Yeah.
I thought I was still broke.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I would have had that guidance back then, oh man, because I know you were you young, but I know you remember around 2007, 2008 when the properties crashed and they was all cheap and everybody made a lot of money.
That's why I told you earlier. I don't really wear jewelry and stuff because I don't want people that's watching me to learn well. I want them to see, oh, he got his property first. Oh, he stopped paying rent first. Oh, he held off till he had kids. Oh, he made sure that he owned this property before he went downtown. Oh, he made sure he was making over $25,000, $30,000 a month before he went to go get him a chain. You know what I'm saying? I want to show the process right. I want to show the correct way to do it. And if you are looking at me and watching me and you're a young man, I want you to have confidence in doing that. Like you just said, you was making a lot of money, but because you see them flashing the money and having the jewelry, you're like, man, I ain't making nothing. When it ain't the truth, when half of them ain't really making nothing what you making every week. They just making a little look like a lot. You get what I'm saying? So I want to show my community and my young men and my young queens, no, this is what you do with your money. This is how you invest it. This is what you focus on. And this is your trophy. And this is your goal. And when you do this, you will see this return. And then you go get the things that you want. And I want them to know I stay disciplined to that as well. Not only preaching that to them.
Mm-hmm. So before we get up out of here, man, I want you to give a message to all the people who might be considering fixing their credit, thinking about, coming up with a plan to better their life. What advice can you give them?
First is you deserve to be rich and you deserve to be successful. And it starts with your credit. And it doesn't take, like I said, getting rich is very simple. It's not a hard thing to do. It doesn't take you focusing on it 7, 8, 9, 15, 20 hours a week. Take 1 hour out your week and fully make that hour on you focusing on your credit and learning about credit. And if you don't know where to start with my community. But I give everybody this advice. If you can give 40 hours a week to your job, hours a week to your significant other, hours a week to your kids, hours a week to your parents, hours a week to your friends, hours a week to your family. You telling me you can't give 1 hour to yourself to cut all of that off to make you rich? That's all. 7 days, 1 hour. I'm not focusing on nothing but credit and how to access this money. 1 hour out the week. And you're going to see a significant change in your whole life. And I know that because I make my community do it every week because every Monday at 7 o'clock, we meet for 1 hour.
And that's impossible, though, to look at something for 1 hour a week, right? And I'm going to tell you why. Because once that hour come and they grasp your attention, it's going to be all day now, every day. You going to live and breathe that shit.
That's what I said.
By the third day, if you ain't locked in about 3 hours.
People don't understand that. It makes you lock in. People join my community and they be like, wait, what the? Hold on. And they be in my group for 3-4 days. And they call me and they be like, I've been up for 5 in the morning in this group. You're going to want to do it. I'm telling you, it's like tasting blood. I tell people all the time. It's like when they say tasting blood. You're going to see how easy it is. This all I got to do. How you got your problem. You thought you was finna be, and you seen how easy it was. It made you think, man, I should have been did this. Mm-hmm. That's what credit is. When you focus for that 1 hour, like you said, you're going to be like, man, I ain't doing this. I ain't doing nothing but this.
Facts,
That's
man.
how it get.
Well, get these people your social media, man, where they can reach you and your classes, and we're going to get up out of here, man.
So everything is on social media for me. My Instagram is MVP Davis. My Facebook is Relahn Davis. My Snapchat is MVP Davis, and my TikTok is MVP Davis. All of my products, all of my sales are always on my Instagram every day. My assistants are always meeting with clients for consultations on Thursday, and I have a community of wealth group that you can join, and you will meet with me every Monday in my community. Every Monday, I'm talking and guiding you all the way until you're not working anymore. You have a monthly income that's going to allow you your free time back with your family.
Amazing, man. Well, we up out of here, man.
All right,
I
man.
appreciate you for coming through, man.
Appreciate
It's
it, bro.
always a treat when real players meet. Make
Live
sure y'all
partner.
smash the share button, smash the comments, man. Smash the sub. Not the Shop Podcast, Undivided. It's your boy Mac Mall. Remember, it don't cost you nothing to push a button. Till next time.